To our commission meeting on this Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance led by Steve Collier, and our invocation will be given by Sheriff Arbin, and then I will have the thought of the day.
All right. Everybody please rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father in heaven, as we gather here today in this commission meeting, we just want to give thanks and express our gratitude for this great country, this great state, and this great county that we live in. And we're so thankful for our blessings, and we're thankful so much for the government and the way it's set up to serve those people that we live with. Father, we ask that the blessing be upon us this day. Bless us that we'll be smart and we'll make good decisions, and remember it's because of Thee and because of the Constitution and those rights that have been given to us by Thee that we are able to be here today. We're so thankful for all we have. We ask for this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Right, before I give my thought, I failed to excuse Chair Harvey. He's out of the country. Unfortunately for you and me, we're not with him, but anyway, we'll excuse him today. I was trying to think of what to bring up, and the only thing that kept coming to my mind, Commissioner, is our employees and how good of a job they do for us in all the departments in the county, and whatever capacity they always do such a good job. And then I ran across this saying, which I'll try to read without glasses since we have very little lighting up here. Do a good job because you want to, not because you have to. This puts you in charge instead of your boss. And I think all of our employees around here at the county do a good job, and I just appreciate them. So, anything to add to my thought?
Absolutely great thought. And I just, once a month we meet with our directors, and I actually have that meeting today with all mine. It's just, it's amazing their attitude and their really thoughtfulness into providing services to all of Weber County. So yeah, it's really, we're blessed to have the people we do.
We really are. They care about our citizens, and that's a good thing for us. So, all right, agenda item E is public comment. Comments will be taken for any items that are listed on the agenda today, and we'd ask that you leave keep your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone who'd like to come forward? Is there anyone online, Shelley? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to item F, which is recognition to the Weber County Sheriff's Office for assisting in training in drone warfare. We have 3 presenters: Major Spencer Randall, Master Sergeant Kevin Call, and Master Sergeant Ryan Jonkman of the 19th Special Forces Group Airborne. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I'll have to excuse Major Randall. He's currently deployed overseas. So I'll be talking on behalf of our initiatives with our field training and experimentation exercise. This concept basically came to us as a need when we looked at the world around us on YouTube and realized that the equipment that we have is not necessarily going to meet the demands of what we're going to be asked to do once we get there. So what we did was we invited a bunch of outside agencies and folks to come together with us to bring technology to our field environment. So to help us realize some of the same threats that we see on YouTube with some of these other countries that are involved in conflicts, so that we could bring that technology environment to us and then train within it to identify what we need to do to increase survivability and effectiveness on the field. Now, you guys have provided through the Sheriff's Office one of the capabilities that was core to our success with Kyle and his team, that they brought basically a whole suite of UAVs, from everything that we could need to, operate inside of a building to up and overhead, and even carry items that were needed. And this was kind of an eye-opener because we realized that there's a lot more to this equation than we realized even. And not only that, they brought the command center with them in the van, and that was instrumental in showing our command team exactly what needed to happen. The threat that was posed to our soldiers out on the field, and it really brought them into that fight. So for us, and for that particular short 3-day span, it really opened the eyes of many into what the needs really were, and we're working on pushing that envelope a little bit further into our next exercise, which will be about 2 weeks in August. In this, we've also invited some of our counterparts within the defense industry to help bring some additional capabilities. However, I would say that what you guys have provided for us is still valued and wanted and needed there too. We don't have the capability and assets of our own just yet. As you guys know, the acquisitions takes a while. You're looking at a 3 to 8 year picture. And then even some of our higher echelon government is working on programs to fix that as well, to help address more immediate needs of technology that's identified on the field. At the pace of technology today, we have to find alternative means to close that gap. And if we don't, then we're going to be on the losing end. So no, we really appreciate all that you guys have done for us in making this possible to bring to light the truth, the ground truth, to our command team who's supporting us now in this next exercise. So thank you very much. And we definitely thank our sheriff's office for providing the assets, and Kyle and his team for coming down and helping us out individually. So thank you.
We really appreciate that. Any comments, Commissioner Furrer?
Yeah, I do. Just, I remember not too long ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when the drone program for the sheriff's office was first introduced. I remember that seeing them in action on a couple different occasions in search and rescue, and basically looking for people that were trying to hide from the sheriff's office. And it's just technology that benefits the county, and we appreciate very much what you gentlemen do. And I would just say, from a Weber County's perspective, at least in my personal opinion, we're there to help, and anything that we can do. And we know that the sheriff's office is on top of their game when it comes to drones. We see that every day. I'm just glad that they were willing to, able to share that technology with you, and we're happy to cooperate. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I echo that as well. I'm glad that we could be partners and that you would reach out to the sheriff's office. Like Commissioner Furrer said, we do have a great drone program, and just great deputies who work with that program, and it's really an asset to Weber County. I will tell you, Commissioner Furrer, I heard about this presentation a few weeks ago. I was in the sheriff's office. We were talking, and a drone came flying in. And where's the sheriff?
He's back there.
And he pointed over to me, and the drone turned to me, and then the drone left the office when it saw me, when the pilot saw me there. But anyway,
That's a little scary.
yeah, it was a little creepy. But I know that there's a benefit to that, and so I appreciate your willingness to invite us down and to help you with that exercise. So if you don't mind, we'd like to have a photo with you. If that's okay?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Did you want to hear from the sheriff's office?
After.
Before.
Well, after a photo.
Okay.
Come on, Chief, Sheriff.
Okay.
Okay. No, we just wanted to take a minute and thank them for inviting us down. It was a great opportunity for us. We started our program back in 2018 with search and rescue, and it's been moving forward ever since. And with the invitation from these guys, we're constantly looking for ways that this program succeeds. And with the pilots we have and the program and the people involved, it's just moving forward, and it's such a huge success. So thank you.
We appreciate that. Thank you. We just heard when we were down there that it was more than just their willingness to come down, that the sheriff's office had a great attitude and was willing to put in long hours and slept in their vehicles, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Sheriff.
So I was hoping Wade would speak too, but there's something that should be known about Kyle Nordfers and Mark Horton and Kylie Slater and their team. We are absolutely the best in the Western states. We have other agencies from other countries in Europe that have come out to our office to see how we do drones. This is how good they are. They deserve all the recognition for this. We are just so blessed, so fortunate to have this program with the Weber County Sheriff's Office. So thank you, Mark, and your team, and the guys, the Armed Forces. Thank you for all that you do to protect us here at home. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And just to continue, don't.
Oh, yeah. Just keep coming.
So here, you got to know the backstory real quick. So when we reached out to, I'm heavily involved in the community of drones here in Utah and also in Ukraine. And when we had the asks looking for subject matter experts to come in on their own time, their own dime, not only did Kyle stand up and say, hey, I can help lead that effort, but it was phenomenal because I have the privilege of dealing with some of the best drone operators in the world. What you have here is so unique, and I see your motto there for improvement, and you're nailing this. In the state of Utah, there's no question. You guys have the best organized, the best funded, the best resource, the best tech. You guys have it. And your guys are so capable, because I've seen this in Ukraine and I've seen this here domestically. And what you have managed to put together has just been phenomenal. And to have Kyle leading the efforts with, as I mentioned before, the great attitudes. So you have a lot to be proud of that you may not be aware of, but you're nailing it on the drone front. So thank you for that.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That's great.
That is a great recognition. Okay, we'll move on to item G, consent items. Number 1 is a request for approval of warrants 101836 through 101904. Numbers 484036 through 484201 and 357 through 359 in the amount of $2,274,334.04. Item 2 is a request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $192,463.66 for a summary of warrants and purchase orders. Ricky Hatch.
Good morning. We issued 12 purchase orders this week for $192,000. 60% of that amount, or $116,000, is for the IT department to purchase gateway equipment. 13%, or $25,000, is for the health department to purchase vaccines. 9%, or $17,000, is property management to perform air conditioning maintenance. 7%, or $14,000, is for the ice sheet for ice plant maintenance. And 6%, or $11,000, is for the library, which will go towards software maintenance as well as building maintenance. As far as checks, we issued 238 warrants this week for $2.3 million. 32% of that amount, or $729,000, is for the transfer station for disposal fees. That is perhaps the highest amount I've seen to date on disposal fees. 19%, or $419,000, is an escrow release for Sundown Condos. 10%, or $218,000, is for the CJC, and that's for the building construction. And then 6%, or $128,000, is for the jail for culinary utilities and supplies.
Thank you, Mr. Hatch. Any questions?
None for me, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to item 4, request for approval of ACH Payment Designs Bank in the amount of $292,338.29. Item 5, request for approval of minutes for the meeting held May 7th, 2024. Item 6, request for approval of new business licenses. Item 7, request for approval of new beer licenses. Item 8, request for approval of updates to the following policies: HR Policy 3-200, Reasonable Accommodation, and HR Policy 4-200, Leave Practices. Item 9, request for approval of right-of-way contract buy-in between Weber County and Joshua Clark to purchase right-of-way along 2550 South for corridor preservation. And item 10, request for approval of right-of-way contract buy-in between Weber County and Michael and Karen Cragen to purchase right-of-way along 2550 South for corridor preservation. Item 11, request from the Community Development Department for approval to sell surplus property identified as parcel 17-045-0030 to North Ogden City Corporation. Item 12, request for approval of an amendment contract by and between Weber County and Restaurant and Store Equipment Company for the 12th Street Jail Fridge and Freezer. Ready for
Madam
a
Chair,
motion?
when you're ready for a motion,
Ready for a motion.
I would move to approve consent items as read from G1 through 12.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item H, action items. Item 1, request for approval of a first reading of an ordinance of Weber County amending section 16-2-12, surveyor's office fees, and portions of the Title 45 surveying and survey monuments of the Weber County Code of Ordinances. Mr. Steve Collier, welcome.
Thank you, Commissioners. We have a really pretty minor adjustment here. Sorry, the sound is got a weird echo here. So this would adjust two sections. Section 16, we're simply changing the words excessive review fee because in light of state code changes to non-compliant submittal so that we can be in line with state code on that. And we're also modifying requirements for filing surveys and for setting property corners. Essentially, these two items were a little bit out of line with state code and standards of the profession. We're getting those better lined up. And that's all the changes in that proposed ordinance.
Any questions?
None for me.
If not, then I'll look for a motion.
So, Madam Chair, I'd move to approve the first reading of an ordinance, Weber County amending sections 16-2-12, surveyor's office fees, and portions of Title 45, surveying and survey monuments at the Weber County Code of Ordinances, presented by Mr. Collier this morning.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 2 is a request for approval of a first reading of an ordinance amending the Weber County Code provisions that govern the planning commissions, including adopting new rules of order for the planning commissions. Mr. Rick Grover.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Commissioners. We had a work session on this where we talked about the rules of order. Right now, the Planning Commission is setting those rules of order, but our state code requires that the legislative body set those rules of order. So this is an ordinance that would have you have the authority to set those rules of order, and then also the rules of order are also attached as part of this. Any questions?
We heard this in a work session, and we had a chance to review this and have our questions answered. Do you have any further questions, Commissioner Farrar?
No, I don't. I just make a comment, and then I'm happy to make a motion. So, yeah, after reviewing this, we realized that those new rules of order were really needed to happen because it's been quite a while since they'd been updated. The world's changed a little bit, and we also found out because of that we were not in compliance with state code, that actually the state code required the legislative body to take that action, not the planning commission itself. So this, again, just like the first issue we heard under action this morning, this brings us in compliance with state code, which is always a good thing. And we've had a chance to review the rules of order as presented by our legal counsel over here and drafted by our legal counsel. So, and those have been out for now, what, 2 or 3 weeks. So,
Correct.
So I think let me just say it was a great job, but I'm happy to make a motion to approve the first reading of the ordinance amending the Weber County Code provisions that govern the planning commissions, including adopting the new rules of order for both our planning commissions as presented by Mr. Rick Grover this morning. Madam Chair.
Second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to item I, public hearing. Number 1 is a request for a motion to adjourn a public meeting and convene a public hearing.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're now in a public hearing. to discuss amendments to the operating and capital budget of Weber County for the 2024 calendar year. Ms. Stephanie Ebert, welcome.
Hello. All right, as you're aware, we hold a lot of meetings in the fall and pass a budget at the end of the year for 2024. And periodically we have items that need to be adjusted and amended throughout the year. And so we've chosen to bring those to you in a public hearing setting on a quarterly basis. So I am here to present the information for the first quarter budget changes for the 2024 operating budget for Weber County. So with that, you've seen all of these. We also discussed these in a work session previously, and I'll just hit a couple of highlights on these budget changes if you're okay with that.
Please.
Okay. The majority of the budget changes for the first quarter are a result of the 2023 items that were not completed due to a variety of reasons. Either we couldn't get the materials, we didn't have the time to work on the project, or something like that. And so most of the items that you'll see on your list in the tune of about $3.5 million are just rollovers from the 2023 budget that we need to move into the 2024 budget. And then we also have a couple of other items. We've had some grants that we've received, a few for the health department that have increased our revenues, and then we'll have expenditures related to those. We have a ramp grant that's actually was for Fort Buenaventura. I had put Weber Memorial Park, but it's actually for the fort for some baskets for the disc golf. And we also have one of our employees in the assessor's office has been instrumental in the state, across the whole state, for the MCAP program for the assessors. And the state MCAP program is giving us a little bit of money to assist with her time for the project that she's doing there. Then we also had a couple of items that were needed over at the sheriff's office. The Kiesel facility roof was leaking and needed to be repaired. And the sheriff's office has limped along with some radios that have been threatened to not work because of changes in technology, and that finally came to fruition, and we needed to get some radios for the sheriff's office so that they could communicate. That is those are the two largest items there. And if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them for you.
Any questions?
No question, just a comment. I just appreciate Scott and Stephanie keeping such a great eye on our budget. And this is something we reviewed in work session. A good majority of these are rollover items just because they weren't completed in 2023, which is typical. And so, yeah, it just makes sense that we have the quarterly update. And I would appreciate the work that Stephanie and Scott do to keep us informed.
And I like the practice of quarterly too, because it's a lot less for us to deal with at the end of the year. So thanks, Stephanie. Okay, stay up there in case there are any questions. I'll invite the public, if there are any, to comment to these budget adjustments, amendments, if there are any. Any online? Okay, thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks.
All right, item 4 is a motion to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the public meeting.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're on item 5, which is action on the public hearing, a request for approval of Resolution 28-2024, amending the operating and capital budget of Weber County for the 2024 calendar year.
Madam Chair, I'd move to approve Resolution 28-2024, amending the operating and capital budgets of Weber County for the 2024 calendar year as presented by Ms. Stephanie Ebert this morning.
And I will second that. Roll call.
Roll call vote for Resolution 28-2024. Commissioner Flohr?
Aye.
Commissioner Bolos?
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, that takes us to item J, Commissioner comments. Anything?
None for me, thank you.
All righty, then I'll move to item K.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.